Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Friday, the 27th of May, 2016. The very latest on 91L here, Red X off the southeast coast. From this morning's outlook, kind of a lot of text there, basically just saying that the area of low pressure continues to gradually get better organized. It could become a tropical or a subtropical storm. The difference is really not too discernible for the average person that this would impact. The general thought is that it's going to head up somewhere towards the Carolina coast over the next few days, and as I will go through these different slides, you'll see that really not much to worry about with it. Something to pay attention to, and we want to respect any weather feature out there, but it's nothing to become too alarmed about. And you can see clearly on the satellite picture we definitely have some broad turning counterclockwise down here, but it is not rapidly organizing, and I don't see much evidence to support that it would ever be able to do so. The vorticity signature, spin in the atmosphere, the organization of such, kind of oblong shaped here, and when you see that, that's also a sign that it's not very well organized. When you look for storms and hurricanes in the tropics, tropical cyclones as it were, the more round they are, the more intense they are usually. At least that's the way it works for me when I'm trying to pick out what might develop and what might not. The wind shear, still pretty strong over the general area. Sharp trough stuck in here. Upper level winds trying to back off just a little bit. But looking at the diagnostics from the ship's model, the statistical hurricane intensity prediction scheme, the shear forecast over the next several days, and we go out to 72 hours, the only single digit 9 knots right there, dipping down to 9 knots. And between here and there, really staying in the teens. So again, these are all just pieces of evidence that put them together, and it says, yeah, really not much chance of this developing too much over the next few days. The one thing in its favor, fairly warm water here in the Gulf Stream between the disturbance way down here, and if it comes up towards the Carolina coast, it will cross this Gulf Stream of 80, 81, 82 degree water, and that's somewhat high ocean heat content in there. At least it's moving. The water would be moving underneath the system. The Gulf Stream moves at just a few knots, a few miles per hour, but it is a river within the ocean of warmer water and a little bit more ocean heat content. And so there would be a little bit of an opportunity for this to strengthen when it crosses there. But the upper level winds and the moisture content in the atmosphere and things like that all have a say-so in that intensity parameter. So, you know, it's all tied together. The track models indicating a general motion towards the Carolina coastline over the next few days. This is more of just guidance. Again, don't look at this and say, oh my goodness, it's time to call the hotel in Myrtle Beach and cancel. No. It just might be a little rainy, a little windy. A nuisance, absolutely, but not a threat to life and property, especially if you use common sense. You know, if you're driving around in a big downpour, one of those spiral bands comes ashore, a tropical downpour, slow down, take it easy. You know, stay in the hotel or the condo and you know, just relax a little bit, enjoy the rain and good times with friends and family. Don't do anything dumb, and it'll be okay. And the same honestly holds true for the surf. We'll talk about that in a minute, the different impacts. We'll get to that more in just a moment. Interesting different model plots that we can find out there. This is the H-Wharf and its family of different models, sort of loosely associated with it. The GFS operational. They didn't run the no gaps for this one. That's the Navy model and the GFDL. Basically, you see all through here pretty good agreement. We don't have something kind of turning out like this and then another one going this way. So we have pretty good model agreement towards the Carolina coast, specifically South Carolina at this juncture. Intensity guidance, for the most part, maybe weak tropical storm in the short term near landfall, and then poof, it drops off to below tropical storm strength. So wind is not going to be a big issue. The H-Wharf output, H-Wharf, by the way, right there, that's the Hurricane Weather Research Forecast model. And this is a nice little rain swath This is the Carolina coast right here. And you can see there are some areas of dark green and yellow, even up along the Carolina Outer Banks here, the North Carolina Outer Banks. So anywhere from 2 to 8 inches. 8 inches would be really the upper end of it at this point. Maybe reaching back to the Piedmont of the Carolinas and Virginia, but it'd have to penetrate pretty far inland to do that. I think this is going to be more hanging around east of I-95 and Highway 17 through here. If you know the region, you know what I'm talking about. So we'll see. We'll wait until this forms and see what happens. The hurricane hunters are en route, probably almost there at the time that I'm recording this, and we'll know a lot more about the structure at that point. But rainfall, the bottom line, not too big of a deal. But again, you don't want to just brush it off and not realize, oh, there's a lot of rainfall, and all of a sudden, slow it down, take it easy, and don't do anything rash to get yourself in trouble. The NOAA seasonal forecast came out today, and as I scrolled back up there, you can see it's really lengthy. A lot of effort went into this from a lot of great people. And the bottom line, they're looking at basically a normal season. The guidance is suggesting some possibilities that if things come together, it could be a very busy season. On the other hand, if certain things don't happen the way that they could, it could be a less than busy season. But right now, they think the greatest probabilities favor a regular old run-of-the-mill garden variety season. Now, that being said, I believe that will appear to be very busy to most people. A regular normal season typically has 6 or 7 hurricanes. We've had one already. Let's say we have 6 more. And let's say we have 3 of those become Category 3 or higher. Then we haven't really had anything like that in the last few years. It's been fairly quiet. So even a normal season could appear to be busy to most people, and that's just with what would be on the maps to track. We're not even talking about landfall or impact. It's impossible to predict that this early, certainly for no specific region. So what it all comes down to, the different agencies, private and otherwise, government agencies, universities, private weather companies, mostly predicting an average to slightly above average season. For what it's worth, next week, Colorado State University and the lead author on the project there, Dr. Phil Klotzbach, protege of the late and great William Gray, Dr. William Gray, will release their updated forecast, and we'll see what they think. Colorado State and their tropical meteorology program, and led by Dr. William Gray, who passed away in April, certainly one of the leaders in this over the last several decades. And you got to start somewhere. And who knows, 25 years from now, we might know 3 weeks out who's going to get hit by a hurricane, and maybe even a little bit how strong. And that could all be traced back to starting somewhere. All right, that's my soapbox for today. Sort of in favor of seasonal forecasts, if not just to get people aware that, yep, it's hurricane season. Keep on top of what's going on and be ready to act if something heads your way. All right, that's it for me for today. Be safe out there this weekend. I will be posting updates on HurricaneTrack.com and our related social media. You'll be able to see much of that retweeted, etc., as we cross-pollinate our efforts with Hurricane Pro and HD, wonderful apps. So you'll be seeing that as you go out and about this weekend. And if we get something forming and it gets a name, it would be Bonnie. And if it heads towards the South Carolina coast and it's not 1 o'clock in the morning, I might just head out with our specially equipped vehicle and test things. It's really not going to be too big of a deal, but it might be something to report on and show you how unbig of a deal it really is with some video blogs from the field. Some kind of an effort, right? We got to be ready for the season ahead. Okie doke. And then I'll be back sometime over the weekend, hopefully tomorrow and Sunday, with another video update on what's happening as well. All right, have a good rest of your Friday. Again, I'm Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com and for Hurricane Pro and HD. Take care, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.